Today's topic is very interesting because it is something that I learned through my conversations with various people, and what is important, with people from different backgrounds. People from different countries, people from cities versus people from villages, people who can be friends and people who only see each other as enemies. Standards and expectations. It is something that differentiates us from each other, and it is something that sometimes don't allow us to build proper relationships, or sometimes make our relationships better. More about it, more about what I actually mean under standards and expectations in today's video. Let's begin. But obviously, before we begin, I have to tell you that this is Yury Experience, and here I share my various opinions about different topics. I do 2 videos per week, Mondays and Thursdays. If you will enjoy this video, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel. Let's go. First, as always, since it is very important, definitions. There are no official definitions, there are some definitions that I will be using for this specific video. Standard is something that is normal for you. It is maybe your normal behavior, your typical behavior, something that is completely normal in terms of your behavior or in terms of your character or skill set. Or maybe it is something that is completely normal to be around you. Maybe it is okay for you to live in luxury, and it is completely a standard thing to you. Expectations, as it comes from the root of the word, it is something what you expect from outside world. It is expectations to other people's behavior. It is expectations to some things that exist in the world, to maybe some quality of this thing, or quantity, or maybe quality of service. And a very important point here, which is completely obvious if you ask me personally, and I think you know it too, but still, your standards and your expectations are yours. These things are completely subjective. Something that is normal for you may be not normal for other people, so your standards are not equal standards of every person in this world. And in the same line, your expectations from other people is your problem. Your expectations, your problem. Other people don't have to abide to your expectations. Overall, both of these topics are highly subjective, and it is not only something that is connected to connections with other people, but also something that is kind of connecting us with outside world without people. I mean, what are your expectations in terms of luggage? How much luggage is normal for you? What are your expectations in terms of furniture? What are your expectations in terms of clothing? What are your expectations in terms of, I don't know, flowers or plants? I will give you 2 examples here, both of which have something to do with a place where people can live. And first example is this apartment that I'm currently renting with my brother. When both of us looked at this place, we didn't really have high expectations. Yes, this apartment is great and it works perfectly for both of us, but both of us don't really have high expectations in terms of we need that walls are very high quality and the color is very nice everywhere and the floor is perfect and there's a hell lot of space in kitchen and it is always warm here. No! I mean, some of this stuff is mildly important for us. Basically, our criteria were money, so how much does this place cost, and how apartment is built, so how different rooms in this apartment are built, how much space you have in different rooms and whatnot. These were our only important points. Walls, there are walls, which is great. But I discussed my search for apartment with some friends of mine, and some of them have different expectations. Some of them need clean walls, nice walls. Some of them need very good quality isolation, so sound isolation and warmth isolation. And I can't say that it is completely unimportant for me. It has some importance, but I don't have that kind of high expectations in terms of these topics. They're not as important for me. It is nice to have option. It is, for example, we have balcony or however it is called. We have it. It is nice to have option, but I would survive without it. It's nothing that I personally find necessary. It's not my expectation, and it's not even my standard too. Similar example I experienced during one of my travels to other country with a group of friends of mine, and we rented Airbnb places where we would stay. For me, there was primarily one criteria that was important. Is there a bed? If there is a bed, I can sleep in a bed and I don't have higher expectations for the place that I will spend like 1, 2, 3 nights. There is a bed, it's enough for me. Obviously, it would be perfect if it is clean, but it is normally a given during Airbnb, so we'll like push this idea away. So clean bed is everything I need. But I have some friends for whom it is important that the location of their apartment is nice. Like the interior or the furniture of the apartment is nice looking, it looks nice, feels nice, maybe there's even a TV. I personally don't care, like, at all. I don't have any like standards and expectations in terms of that. I go to travel, I need a place to sleep, I go to sleep. My expectations are like really low. And my standards are not even that high because my apartment is not very difficult and nice and like very cool furniture and whatnot. It is pretty functional. But other people are different. And the main point is, my friends are not wrong because they have different expectations. It is a big question whether I'm ready to pay for their expectations. So basically, if the apartment is in a better place, it normally costs a little bit more than an apartment in a worse place. So yes, it is a question of money at some point because sometimes it's just way too expensive to go to an apartment in a nice location. But overall, if it is not that expensive, I don't care. As I mentioned already, I have one expectation, clean bed. And everything beside it, as long as it is not way more expensive as another option, I don't care. I have one expectation, not more than it, only one. Now I need to add a little bit about human relationships, because at the end of the day, standards and expectations also apply to our interactions with other human beings. Standards is something that is completely normal for us. So it is, for example, normal for some people to help other people. They don't even think twice, they just do it and then they go on with their life. They don't think about it. Or there are other people for whom it is normal to behave badly to other people. They don't think about it. They don't consider it being bad. It is their normal. It is their standard. Does it make them good or bad people? Depends on the situation. But the point is, all of us have different standard behavior, which is okay, which is fine. We are different. But where I would suggest you to be careful would be expectations. Your expectations are, at the end of the day, your own problem, or it's your job to tell other person that you have these expectations. If the other person doesn't know that you have expectations in terms of some specific behavior, how can that person satisfy your expectation? For example, some people give a very expensive present for a birthday for another person, and they're like, good for you, now you have a great present and I'm very proud because I did it. The present was expensive and fits you perfectly. And then these people expect pretty much same behavior from other people on their birthday. So when the birthday of this person comes, that person like takes a present and expects it to be expensive, fitting and whatnot. But to give other people nice expensive presents is not a standard for everybody. And if it is not a standard for that specific person, your expectations are kinda foolish. Your expectations are based on nothing. Which is why if you have some expectations, please talk. But in this specific example of present, please don't give a present and say, I hope your present will be great too. It is not a nice move, because you like kind of pushing your expectations. You not make a conversation about them, you are pushing your conversations onto other person, and that person feels pressure. Now I have to make money to buy this cool present and whatnot. What would be better? Talk about it prior to giving a present. Talk about presents, like talk with each other and ask each other how much is it okay, how much money is it okay to spend for a present, how much thought shall be put into it, what maybe you shall present each other. Yes, there will be less surprises, but if you're a person that has expectations, then there will be also less disappointments for you. And also you will not apply pressure on your friends. Both parties will be satisfied, which is great. So please, don't push your expectations on other people. It only applies pressure on them, and it's not really good for creating a good relationship with a person. Make a conversation prior to expectation being born. I would call it like that. And overall, be ready for standards and expectations being different for different people. Maybe something is important for you in your apartment and it is completely not important for your partner. And you cannot expect them to have same standards as you. You can try, but will it work? That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it is the case, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel. Except for that, I see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.